Hello, my name is Angelica Mejia, and my project is entitled The Neural Basis of Speech-Sound Discrimination. Learning languages is a highly rigorous undertaking, but like any other cognitive task, investigating the neural mechanisms underlying language learning can help illuminate efficient learning strategies. First, however, we must design a behavioral model for studying sound discrimination in animals, and we decided to use mice due to their documented ability to discriminate human speech sounds and for ease of accessibility in recording brain activity. In this project, we trained the mice to do a two alternative choice task with simple sounds. The primary goal for this preliminary step in the project is to train mice to discriminate sound stimuli and to assess their ability to learn the task. To complete our short-term task, mice underwent daily head-fixed sound discrimination training, the setup of which can be seen in Figure 1. The reason we chose this setup is because later mice will undergo the same training in a similar head-fixed setup for brain recording, and we wanted the setups to be as similar as possible. As the mice progressed through their training, the behavioral data from their daily sessions were analyzed using Python. Mice underwent 4 stages of training. In Stage 1, mice learned to associate water awards with the presentation of sounds. In Stage 2, mice have to lick after the presentation of a sound to receive an award. After Stage 3, mice need to lick the correct side for a water award. And finally, Stage 4 serves as our final assessment of mice's ability to discriminate the sounds. The last 2 stages were then repeated all over again with a different set of sounds. We made mice learn 2 different sounds, a set that differed in spectral features, such as frequency, so that would be a high versus a low sound, and a set that differed in temporal features, so that would be a sound like ch versus ch. We wanted to teach them simple sounds to ensure that they know how to use the rig, but also can learn to distinguish the sounds before moving on to more complex stimuli. Our first set of data shows us the results from the frequency discrimination tasks. When instructed to discriminate high versus low frequencies, mice exhibited rapid ability in learning to discriminate the sounds. In Figure 2, we see how CHAD59's correct choice percentage increases from about 50% to over 90%, well above our arbitrary learning threshold of 70% accuracy. However, for the middle frequency discrimination task, the mice started out well, at about 80% correct choices, but then subsequently exhibited no marked improvement between the first and last days of training, as seen in Figure 3. Next, we moved on to teaching the mice to discriminate between AM frequencies. In the past, the Jaramillo lab has been able to teach mice to discriminate between AM frequencies, but that has been in freely moving mice rather than head-fixed mice, and the challenge we had was to translate these results to our new experimental setup, which involved a lot of trial and error. At first, we trained the mice in the same method as for the frequency discrimination, but after multiple weeks of training, the mice showed little to no improvement in ability to discriminate the AM frequencies. This is best exemplified by PALS 5, whose correct choice percentage never rose above 50% despite multiple weeks of training as seen in Figure 4. We conjectured that perhaps this inability is a result of procedural errors. We expected mice to lick 30 milliseconds after sound presentation because it takes about 20 milliseconds for the sound to finish and about 10 milliseconds to hear and react, but we saw that mice licked too early. We implemented a listening procedure in a procedure called Stage 3.5. However, this new procedure didn't result in a delay in the lick time. Figure 5 shows results from training in Stage 3.5, and we see that mice still lick before the expected 30 millisecond mark. Next, we wanted to try implementing a punishment, such as a startling sound, if they lick too early instead. For our conclusions, just to reiterate, we have found that mice can discriminate between high and low frequencies, but not middle frequencies. We are still currently working on strategies and procedural modifications to teach mice to discriminate between AM sound sets. After teaching mice these simple sounds, our future directions include first, measuring their success discriminating simple sounds using different combinations of active training and passive exposure to the sounds. Second, by training them using active and passive trials with more complex sounds like human speech sounds. And third, observing their neural responses via electrophysiological recordings during their training. The funding for this project was provided by the VPRI, NIH, and NSF, and I would like to sincerely thank my graduate student mentor, Isabella Salinas, and my lab PI, Santiago Jaramillo, for their guidance.